down the phone and pay attention, because The View is live. Obama unleashed? Will he stop playing nice and come for Trump once he leaves office? Then, ABC News commentator Cokie Roberts hits Hot Topics to take you inside one of the most controversial inaugurations in American history. Plus, the hilarious Jim Gaffigan reveals how he's making America laugh again.
What animal is that?
It's a reindeer.
The House of Hot Topics is in session with Whoopi, Sunny Hostin, Joy Behar, Sarah Haynes, and Jedediah Bila. Now, let's get things started.
Yesterday.
Stay strong.
Yes. That is my message to the world today. Stay strong.
Good message.
Now, President Obama gave his final press conference yesterday where he thanked the press and told them it's their job to be skeptical of any administration. He also noted that he would speak out against the Trump White House if he thought that the core values were at risk. And I guess people are saying that should an ex-president criticize current administration? It's not unprecedented. I mean, they do, but I think that he has a different kind of feel for it.
Well, here's the bottom line. You're on the Titanic.
Oh my gosh, we're starting right out of the gates.
Do you warn the crew that there's a berg ahead, and do you tell the captain, turn the boat? That is what we're up against right now. We're all on the Titanic together.
Okay. With a little, not to be dramatic.
I think President Obama comes at this from a different place because we have to remember that for 12 years he was a constitutional law professor in Chicago, at the University of Chicago. Sorry, there was something buzzing in my ear. So I think that when he talks about core values under attack, he's talking about constitutional values, and that's something that he has lived to uphold. So we're talking about freedom of the press, freedom of speech, immigration issues. These are things that are very dear to him, and I can't imagine he would ever stay silent about those particular issues.
Well, less death and destruction than Miss Joyful over here. I think it's really important for him to speak out right now, because if we talk on the heels of this election of a floundering party, a party, the Democratic Party, that didn't have a lot of representation or leaders when they looked at people. Obama remains kind of a vision, a leader, but also a vision of hope in the party. And if we don't really have other people to look to, then that's important. And the other point would be the chessboard is all one color right now. You know, with the president, possibly the Supreme Court, the Congress. So I think we do need someone to say, don't worry, we're all represented in democracy, even if it comes in the form of a former leader, former president.
And a citizen.
It's important.
I really liked that George W. Bush didn't speak out, from my perspective.
He did, but not until the second term.
Right. I liked that he had this philosophy. He was asked repeatedly. I remember seeing interviews with him where they would ask him and push him, as reporters often do, to weigh in on the Obama presidency. And one quote I remember he said, which I have right here, "I don't think it's good for the country to have a former president undermine a current president. I think it's bad for the presidency for that matter." And I agree. And the reason is that I think a sitting president, someone who's in there, whether it's Republican or Democrat, has access to information that other people don't have, including former presidents. And I think when you're sitting in that chair and you have that information, you maybe make decisions from a place that none of us can, because we don't have all the information. And I think what George Bush was basically saying was, I'm sort of out of the loop now. I may be judging that man for something that he's doing without having access to the reasons why he did it.
Except that they do, listen, there is a club.
Yeah.
There is a club. Every time a president leaves and the new president comes in, he joins the club. And all of this alive sitting president.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, I do have some information. As long as all of the live sitting presidents are at the president's beck and call, because that club is the only group of people who know what it's like. And so what...
They like what you say.
I guess. But the other thing is, you know, I think that it is very important for people to understand that because we've never had a president like this coming in, he may not avail himself of his predecessors. And it's important that he does, because you don't want someone as a lone wolf getting ready to do something that, you know, the other guys saying you want to take a beat before you say that. You want to, and so I think amongst themselves they will, but I think it's going to be very challenging.
Well, you can't buck the traditions you don't like, because so far, when you look at the press and the way he handles the press, he's saying, well, that didn't work, so we're going to change it. But you can't then say, but I really don't want you to talk now. You left the office. I like that tradition. Like, it's either traditional and it is the way it was, or it's all changed.
But hasn't he said, hasn't President-elect Trump said that he will call on President Obama?
Yeah, but that was before Obama spoke about 5 more times, saying maybe he didn't like some of
what Whoopi's saying about the club actually is a really good point. But for me, I'd love for that to happen privately. I'd love for people who've been in that position.
Nobody's saying it won't be.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, I think President Obama probably has insight that would be really useful to the incoming president. And I think that, absolutely, and I think they all do. I also think George Bush had insight for President Obama.
But if you do it open,
if you do it privately, though, I think it looks optically, it doesn't look like you're trying to undermine someone who's in office.
Here's the problem that Obama will have that no other president has had. He has also, not just that he has insight into being president, but he also has insight into how things affect folks. You know, he's spoken about race 3 or 4 times that I can remember. And one of the times I remember is when Skip Gates was pulled out of
professor.
And he said, listen, this is what happens when you do this. And people lost their minds because they said, well, you're just talking to black people. It's like, no, I know how this works. I know this. So when he says, there may be times that he speaks out because it's something that he may see that none of the other ones
The other point, of course, is that, you know, he has a legacy to protect. This administration is posed to completely overthrow everything that he tried to do to move this country forward. So he has an obligation to speak.
You could make
it's
the
not
same.
just an option. It's not an option.
But you could make the same argument then when President Obama got elected and had, you know, all branches of government at his side. You could make the same argument that maybe President Bush thought he had a legacy to
President
protect.
Bush didn't have anything.
What I'm saying with an enormous popularity.
But what I'm saying,
George Bush didn't. George Bush needed to go home and paint his pictures of his bathroom. It's a whole other world.
All I'm saying is that every president feels they have a legacy to protect. Everyone who comes into office and makes something happen feels they have to protect.
But here's the other thing. Again, you know, the day after Obama was sworn in, the other side said, we're not going to do anything to help him. That's what they said. It's very different than what happened, than what happened when George Bush came in. People said, well, how is it that the Supreme Court, you know, we're going to accept it, but, you know, but the Congress and the Senate didn't say, you know, we're not going to help you at all. And that's what they kind of did.
They went even further, Whoopi. They didn't only say that they weren't going to help him. They said that they were going to obstruct him. They were going to prevent him from getting anything done.
I think that's the difference.
There's a big difference.
I don't remember that. I don't remember hearing that. And I'm not, you know, a million years old, but I'm, you know, half a mil. But I don't remember ever hearing that from anyone, anywhere, since I've been aware of what goes on. I see you doing this. I get it.
Let's go.
The disrespect that was leveled at this president.
You see, I gotta go. You see, I gotta go.
She's followed you.
We also want to wish a speedy recovery to former President George H.W. Bush and First Lady Barbara Bush, who both have ended up in the hospital right before tomorrow's inauguration. And he wrote a letter to Trump saying, you know, my doctor says if I sit outside in January, it's like putting me 6 feet under. Same for Barbara. So we're going to stay in Texas. And feel better, sir. Feel better. We'll be right back.
The stage is being set for one of the most controversial inaugurations in American history. ABC News commentator Cokie Roberts takes you behind the scenes next. Still ahead, the hilarious Jim Gaffigan on finding time to be funny with 5 kids at home.
So, tomorrow, one of the most controversial presidents in American history will officially take the oath of office, joining, I'm sorry. He's going to do it tomorrow. So joining us in Hot Topics to tell us what we can expect at the inauguration, please welcome ABC News political commentator and the most fabulous woman, Cokie Roberts. Yay.
Thank you.
I know I have to get used to reading that. So, but Obama says he would speak out if he feels dreamers are targeted, and some people say he should stay silent. What do you think?
You know, actually, it is not a tradition for presidents, ex-presidents, to stay silent. No. George W. Bush decided to do that, and some presidents have, and some haven't. Right. I mean, Jimmy Carter was out there, certainly.
So was Bill Clinton.
How about Clinton?
And then Clinton and Bush H.W. started working together on a variety of projects. And that does happen. And in fact, I interviewed President H.W. Bush, who we do hope is well, after his presidency. And he said, I don't think Clinton and I are ever going to get to be friends like Carter and Ford are. And then they were. Wow. Yeah. And it is because of what you all were talking about. It's an exclusive club. And Obama has apparently been incredibly gracious to Trump, and Michelle Obama to Melania. But
that's who he is, though.
But that's who he is. Right. But I also think that the Bushes did a really nice job for them, and they are very clear about that. I've actually 3 times, had the opportunity to interview Michelle and Laura together, and they really like each other, you know, and so, which is such a nice thing, because nobody else likes each other in Washington these days. You know? And so so I think the Obamas are trying to do that, but you're absolutely right. If he starts to say we're going to send all these kids home to, which isn't home. Home is New Jersey, you know. Then he will speak out. And he was very clear yesterday, and I was happy to hear this, that he wants to get involved in the whole business of the mechanics of democracy. And that's good. We need somebody to be doing that.
Do.
You know,
so I'd like to talk to you about the inauguration. It's only one day away. What can we expect to see tomorrow?
You'll see an inauguration. I mean, they don't differ that much from each other. It's a ritual that you go through. It's a wonderful ritual because it is the peaceful transfer of power, and we take it for granted. But in some countries, right now in Gambia, the guy who lost is refusing to leave, right? And actually, the first time that it happened, when Jefferson defeated Adams in 1800, a woman reporter wrote that this blessed country, you have this without any bloodshed, without any disorder, and understood that this was remarkable. And so you'll have, assuming that President Bush Sr. is all right, you'll have George Bush and Jimmy Carter and Bill Clinton and Barack Obama on that platform, and not one of them voted for Donald Trump. And they're saying, we legitimize this.
Cokie, you have a new book out that
I
I'm really excited about. It's called Ladies of Liberty, and it's a children's book, and it's about important first ladies in our country. And I want to ask you a little bit about the transition for Melania's transition to First Lady. What do you think that's going to look like?
Well, she's going to be here for a while in New York, as she's made clear, and might be commuting some, although it's a comfortable plane to commute on. But she's going to have to feel her way, and that's very hard. First Lady, the book is about lots of women in American history, but the book Ladies of Liberty, but the First Lady job has no job description. Everybody's always suspicious of her because, you know, she's got power, she's got his ear, and she can't be fired. And so there's always a certain suspicion about the First Lady. And it's, every woman has to figure it out herself. But she's at a particular disadvantage. She doesn't have close friends in Washington. She has never been in politics, so she's not used to doing it. Even Michelle Obama, because she had not been First Lady of a state, had not had that particular experience, which both Laura Bush and Hillary Clinton had had. But so it takes a while, and it's going to be, I think it's going to be hard for her.
So when Tom Ford, the designer, was on this show, he said that he would not dress Melania while she's in the White House. He basically said that the First Lady should not be wearing such expensive clothing.
Right.
But it sounds a little like he doesn't like her.
No, but he also said, in his defense, he also said the same thing about Hillary Clinton. He said, I wouldn't dress her in,
Well, then, yeah,
as
all
well.
right, so we'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
He said, my clothes are made in Italy, and this guy wants them made in America, and they're way too expensive for most Americans. And I suspect she wears clothes that are a whole lot more expensive than mine, but...
What is she going to wear? Do you know?
We're
Chico's may have been reported that it's Ralph Lauren.
Right, Ralph Lauren
Ralph
is
Lauren.
likely to be the person who dresses her.
Oh, sorry, I didn't want to cut you off.
Actually, let me just tell you a quick little Washington story you'll love. So, at one point, I was doing something for breast cancer awareness or something. It was a fashion thing, and we are not fashionable in Washington, right? And so, this New York designer type says to me that he walked in the White House, and he said, I can never get Washington. He said, I walked up to a woman in the White House, and I said, I love this Ralph Lauren outfit you're wearing. And she turned around and said, I'm a Marine.
How did Ralph Lauren take it?
Pretty good. That's good. But you know what? That tells you we do have lots of women in place in Washington doing great things, and they've been doing them throughout history. And so we need to just keep reminding ourselves of that and making sure those women are effective in what they're doing.
And you, as one who always lets us know what's going on, I know your ears will be open to make sure that freedom of the press never leaves our
Right.
Thanks to Coca Robert. Coca's book, Ladies of Liberty, is available now, and members of our audience, you're getting a copy. Yes, we'll be right back. Welcome back. I want to remind folks, if you don't know about this, there are a number of marches all over the country on Saturday. I hope that you are able to get in there and march if you feel like your voice should be heard. Just letting folks know. They call it the Women's March, but a lot of folks are marching.
Just to let the administration know that we're here. And we don't like necessarily what they're doing, and we're here in great numbers.
And we're not, and women are here to stay. Yeah, you need us, But, and that brings me to this. Grey's Anatomy star Sarah Drew says that she thinks being a working mom makes her a better mother because she's more present at home. But it kills her when her daughter reaches for the nanny instead of her.
Yeah.
Is this an issue everybody goes through?
I'm guessing. Yeah, you do go through it if you have someone. If you're lucky enough to have someone that your child loves watching over them when you're not there. I had my Susie, who watches all the time. Hi, Susie. She's 75 now. And she stopped working for us just 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. And my daughter adored her and would call for her at night sometimes and would say, I want Susie, I want Susie. And it does kind of hit you.
Yeah,
it kills you. But what you have to think is, this person must be so loving to my kid, and that's what you need when you're not there.
I have to take issue with what she said. She said that she's a more present mother because she's working. I don't think that that's necessarily true.
No, that's 100% true, Joy.
Well, I don't think so. I think that mothers who devote themselves to motherhood, who stay home with their children, are also quite present.
It's not the contrast. It's not saying the people that are there aren't present, but individually, I too can agree with her. I am more present as a woman, individual. As a mother, I can only do it with the balance. That is not to take a knock at people that might be present all day long. I think what she's saying is for herself, just like me. I'm a better mom because I can do short spurts of full presence. I'm an anxious person, and I don't ever feel feedback as a parent, like whether I'm doing it right or not. So to have a job I go to that I can walk away saying, okay, I did a good job today.
Yeah.
Then when I come home, I can fully be present and be on the ground and play because I am not capable as an individual doing that all day long.
All right.
Yeah, and
So-
it's a tough job being a stay-at-home mom. And I've had friends that have kids in daycare. They have the same feeling, right? They have the same feeling that, wow, my kid is spending all this time with these ladies or men, and I'm not there.
I'm not a mom, but I have a mom, and
She plays one on TV.
I play one on television. I just, I think moms have a lot of expectations on them, and I remember my mom always expressing that she couldn't afford to hire help, so I had to choose. Like, right now I'm going to be home with my daughter, and then she felt like she needed to be in 100 places at once and had to juggle in a way that a lot of men, for some reason, don't have that expectation set on them. Let's face it, it's not fair the way people view dads as when they leave and go off to work and the kids at home, they're like, well, the mom will take care of them. A lot of people still feel that way in society, and I think the pressure on moms is to be everything to everyone all the time. Be something to your job, be something to your child, be something to your husband. And there was a great quote by feminist author Betty Friedan, and she said, you can have it all, just not all at the same time. There's only 24 hours in a day, and you're one person, and it's okay to not have to do it all at once.
I think, you know.
Yeah, unfortunately, your eggs dry up. And
Well,
you can't do it
and it's
like
not
that.
just nannies. You know, sometimes, and I don't know why this is such a shock to women who work. I'm not sure why they're so surprised that, the person who's taking care of the child is going to be the person the child says, yeah, I want to be helped by you. This is not a knock on you. The kid is not thinking about you at work.
Yeah.
They don't know what you're doing. They just know that when you come back, they're happy to see you, but they want to hang with somebody who they see all the time. And this is with fathers go through it, mothers go through it, but when you have a job, this is what happens.
As long as the husband doesn't love the nanny more.
There you go.
And on that note, we'll be right back. So apparently there are plenty of cash-only restaurants here in New York, but there are places popping up that only accept credit cards, no cash. They claim not having to deal with money makes things run more efficiently.
Really?
I don't know.
The opposite is easier to deal with. If they don't take credit cards and only cash, you can go to an ATM machine. How are you going to apply for an American Express in the middle of the dinner? You don't have a card? I don't get
I'll
how
come back in 5 to 7 days.
How do they operate? It doesn't make any sense.
The thing is, for low-income people or for anyone, students, there are people that don't have credit cards. There are people that can't afford to use a credit card, and then you get charged that extra fee. I mean, I try not to use credit cards because you get charged.
I like my card for points. Like, I have a card with points, so I
yeah.
love that. But what I forgot is I make it, since I got my first credit card, I don't even know how old, college or right after, I always made an effort to only spend what I could pay each month because the interest is never worth it. The problem is people that don't do that, you're going to be paying way more for that cup of coffee
Well,
you
the
just bought.
trap also is, this is what happened to me when I was young. I had a credit card and I would buy things, and then I forgot that I did it. Now I'm spending the cash also.
money.
At the end of the month, I was doubly in debt, very bad, very, very bad. And it's like usually they charge you a fortune, as you say, in credit, what do you call it, interest rates. It's really a bad idea.
That can't afford to have credit cards, that have bad credit. I mean, I guess these restaurants are saying, I don't want your business.
That's right.
There's a trend now, though, by a lot of people, and I include myself in this, that I don't like. And I don't even know why I don't like it, but people don't carry cash anymore. I remember growing up, my dad always had cash on him, and it just seemed smart. I don't know why it seemed smart, but it just seemed smart.
You can budget better.
Do that. And I'm out, and I'm always like, my dad would know, and sometimes I'll need it. You know, there are things you need cash for, to tip somebody, and I'll say,
Yeah.
my dad would never find himself
It's
in this
very
predicament.
Italian to carry cash.
Why?
Yeah, it is. I don't know why the Italian.
it's
When
also
I grew
smart.
up, one of the paisans in the neighborhood used to have cash under
What's
his
a
mattress.
paisan?
You know, somebody
his
who's countryman
mattress, yes.
would have cash under the mattress because they did not trust the government.
Yes.
They do not trust that the ATM machines
Oh,
are
so
always going to work.
this is the people you come from? They
That's
don't
right.
trust the... Okay.
Yeah, what's your problem with that?
All making sense.
You got a problem with that?
But you budget better with cash,
what if
don't you?
the ATM machines go down and there's a blackout? You have
What if
nothing
that
left.
happened? What if they go down in the boat we're
Yeah,
all
what
on
if
right
that-
now? Hashtag Titanic.
I mean, do you keep cash? I take out money every Sunday night, and then I try to just spend that during the week. I know that sounds
How does
frugal
that
and
work out
crazy,
for you?
but I take money out Sunday night for the week, cash, and then I try not to spend anything over that.
Has that worked?
Does it work for you?
It works for me because I
what
get
day do you make
I get
it
to
to?
see the money.
Because
Well, I make my husband pay for things sometimes, but
That's cheating,
but
Sonny.
It's cheating a little bit, but yeah, we're at dinner. I'm like, are you paying for this? But
my mother
I
used to
get
put
all week.
she used to put the money in like coffee cups in the credenza. So she'd be like, if I die, this is where there's $25 end of the
You
cup.
make so much more sense now that I'm hearing this conversation. I really get you now.
You're
I
so
die.
Italian, and
know,
I can
it's
say
very
that because I'm
Italian. telling
Italian.
you, all about the cash.
Those
Italians, it's a
paisans.
thing.
You learned a new word. A paisan is a
We're out.
countryman.
We'll be back.
Hi, I'm Jim Gaffigan. I'm going to be talking to the ladies about what it's like to be a sex symbol. And my new fitness video called Cinco, which is available on Netflix, and what it's like to model and show off my stretch marks.
Oh, I have a new belt, because my old belt looked like it was tortured on Game of Thrones. I don't know what happened to it. I think it's because I don't like to give up on the belt hole. I'm like, we're still good. And my poor belt was like, I could have been a watch band for David Beckham.
Okay, it's perfect timing that we have one of the most successful stand-up comedians on today's show because I need to laugh before tomorrow. Please welcome the fabulous Jim Gaffigan. So, Jim, I hear you want to be a paisan, huh?
I'm a paisan, you know, a little bit.
This is what it is.
I
Okay.
wish it was. I wish I was any ethnicity. I'm
yeah.
nothing.
Yeah, no, you're something.
No, I'm nothing. I'm Irish, but I have blonde hair, and supposedly the only reason the Irish have blonde or red hair is because the Vikings invaded, pillaged, and
Right.
probably other stuff.
Yeah.
You know, those
So you're Scandinavian, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know if you've been to Sweden. It's like a whole country of Scarlett Johanssons. So if I was in Ireland at that time, I would have been like, oh no, some Viking lady's coming to pillage me. I guess I'll hide on this bed covered in rose petals. Hopefully she can help me put together that table. Can you believe I have this mustache?
Mustache. What's with the mustache?
It's like I was too good looking.
Yeah, that was
and
it.
so I
you
thought I'd
ruined
grow
it.
the mustache.
It's true, without the mustache, Tom Cruise.
Right?
Spitting image.
I was, well, I'm gonna go and do porn, and I don't know. It's brutal. It's for a role. I'm playing Tom Selleck, and no, I'm in Fargo, upcoming season of Fargo, and so
You're also on a comedy tour right now.
yeah.
And you just traveled to London with your 5 kids,
That's
all under
right.
the age of 12.
Busy.
Yeah.
How did that go for you?
Well,
Oh, they're so cute.
Oh, thank you. You can have one.
A party gift.
That's what you want to deal with when you've got jet lag. You want to have 5 children out of the age of 12 with you.
How do you even fly? Do you like put them a few rows back, or do you put them together?
Do you drug them?
I drug them.
Yeah.
I drug them and gag them, you know, all this stuff.
And the airlines are okay with that.
Yeah, that's right. And by the way, you know, there was that segment of people dealing with guilt. I just want to go on the record, and I don't want this to be misinterpreted. If you don't have children, you're a monster. I'm joking.
But in a way, it's true. And we were talking about, you know, things we give up for our kids. And you guys, you had a really successful show on TV Land called The Jim Gaffigan Show. And you worked with your wife on it, she wrote it. And I'm told at the end of season 2, you guys said, you know, somebody else is raising our kids, and you walked away from it.
I think it was a unique situation in the fact that my wife and I, you know, we wrote all the episodes, and I was she was running the show, and I was in 90% of the scenes, and it was too much. Yeah. Like maybe at a different point when they're older or we're more sick of them.
What about the present? What about all the quality time Sarah was talking about? The present, your present.
That's only an hour a day, Joy.
No, but but like parenting is it's just about guilt, right? That's all it is. Yeah. It's just, you know, balancing.
Ends, Jim. It never ends.
That's what alcohol is for. It's just different levels of guilt.
Right.
And so, but like, you know, the show, it was this great opportunity, and but the guilt was just tremendous.
Right.
So it was just, and it was both of us. It wasn't like one was working and one could be there. It was, we were both gone for 18 hours a day, and it's hard to do it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm a great guy.
Jim, I'm
one of the best in porn I've seen.
I'm looking at your 2017 schedule. I'm exhausted looking at it. You're in season 3 of Fargo.
Yeah.
You have 6 movies coming out.
Who does that?
You had somebody without an ethnicity. You're very popular.
You're very popular.
Well, they're mostly porn. So they were shot on video, iPhones.
You also had all of these different accents that you had to do. Can you do some of that?
I can do. All right, here's my Boston accent. Wicked. Thank you. It's more subtle. And here's my New Jersey accent. Wicked. So it's like, it's nuanced.
Right.
Yes,
like within the scene, it comes out.
You're very like Meryl Streep. You're very like Meryl.
Accent. Wicked. So it's different.
I can see that.
It's subtle.
Well,
But it says it.
It says it.
Yeah.
And I imbue the character with something a little special.
You make me so happy.
I know. I can't stop laughing.
I make everyone feel tan and thin.
You just released, though, your 5th one-hour comedy special on Netflix called Cinco.
Yes.
What can fans expect?
Seriously, Joy?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, a little.
Well, I don't know if it's going to work with, I mean, the special is mostly anti-women. I don't know if that's bad. But
Fits right in right
I'm so
now.
glad to have you here
it's
today.
against women, generally. No, I'm an observational guy, so it's a lot of, and I talk about being lazy and the fact that I'm married to an amazing woman and I have 5 kids. So it's a lot of jokes like that.
No politics? I do politics now. You have to.
You know, like the politics thing, it's strange because I mean, obviously you do it so well and you do it so well, but like there are people that do it well, and there's also, I feel like my opinions change so much. And so like it would be dishonest of me to like kind of spout. But then I also am very nervous because I don't want to be complicit in being passive. You know, like, you know, there are all these quotes of like, you know, it's when you know something's wrong and you don't do something. That's like the greatest sin.
Yeah.
So it's like, there is this balancing act.
The jokes write themselves right now.
Yeah.
That's how easy it is.
Right.
But it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
It's not, I mean, it's not for everybody.
I'd love to see you try it, though.
I mean, you know, but I also, I mean, it's hard for me because I look like a Republican senator from the 50s. Yeah. So it's a little
or a
bit.
perv.
Yeah, or maybe a Republican senator in a porno industry.
Yeah, that's it.
But so, I don't know, it's a strange balance, but, you know, there's also, I feel like there's something about maybe, like, my comedy's always been kind of a break from it.
Yeah.
Like,
But you do so many different things. Now I hear the accents, too.
A lot.
Did you hear
what's
the
your
accents,
fave?
Joy? Really hear the
I know.
accents?
I
Wicked.
realize. I know, but what's your favorite thing? You do the movies, you do the stand-up, you do the TV,
you know,
you do everything.
I love acting. It's, you know, it just happens way too early in the morning. But
So do kids.
I love stand-up. I think it's like, as a comedian, once you do it,
You do it all.
you
venting.
need it.
Yeah, and
right?
you know what? You should
need
do
it.
everything. If you have the opportunity, take it, man, because
Yeah.
who knows how long
That's
anything
right.
lasts.
That's true. That's why I'm getting back into it, because I need to vent.
gotta do it.
I need to
You gotta
vent. I'm
do it.
too crazy now.
Right?
Anyway, yeah.
Now?
The peanut gallery may be lame, may remain with them. Thanks to Jim Gaffigan. They remain silent, is what I was trying to say. And you can watch his comedy special, Cinco, because he's so Spanish, on Netflix, and we'll be right back.
Wicked.
In the role of The View's newest co-host, Jim Gaffigan.
Thank you.
So, you know,
We needed a porn star on this panel. That
well,
was
we've had everything else. So you are our first. Are you our first transgender?
I prefer multi-gender.
I like that. Multi-gender. So, from all of us to all of you, you know, when next we meet, the world will be a little different. But for right now, we want you to have a great day and take a little time to enjoy whatever view
And
you
light a
happen upon.
candle.